Each episode, we highlight one of the great companies within AustCyber's portfolio. Today, we talk to Tracie Thompson from HackHunter. HackHunter have been on a mission to make sure that Wi-Fi is used for good. Their most recent innovation is the Pursuit Tracker, which is a handheld tool locating unauthorized Wi-Fi networks within your system that may have been set up to steal digital information and corporate knowledge. It's super exciting to have Tracie join Olivia from our team at AustCyber for this month's Spotlight. Over to you, Liv.
For our listeners who are not so familiar with HackHunter's journey, what is the elevator version of how you established the company?
Mike, my co-founder, and I have been in cybersecurity for many years. Mike has been a CISO for an insurance company. He's been a consultant to over 50 organisations over the years, and we previously ran a security consulting and software company. And when we sold that in 2017, we looked for what would be the next thing that we would do. And by that stage, Mike had also been working on automating our home. And so he had a great love for IoT sensors and hardware. And so we looked for a way to combine cybersecurity with IoT, and HackHunter was born from that. We also knew that there were lots of problems with Wi-Fi, through vulnerability assessments that we'd done in the past, and that it is really hard to actually find the source of Wi-Fi in a crowded environment. So that was the problem that we decided to look at and see if we could solve.
Wonderful. So Wi-Fi is something that we all use every day, of course. Can we really trust the network that we're connected to?
Yes, good question. It depends on the network. So obviously open networks are an issue, and I think everyone is across the fact that you can't trust what's on an open network. So, anything could be lurking there. So obviously, cyber aware people will only use an open network for looking at HTTPS sites or, for doing anything that's not personal. So you're not giving away any details anyway. So, open networks, I'm pretty sure everyone knows to give them a miss where you can. But when it comes to within the corporate network, a lot of money is spent on the Wi-Fi network, and most people would think that it's covered. But the risk is actually not with the corporate network itself. It's with the devices that your staff members are using to perform their jobs. So they're using their phone in both inside the office and when they're working from home and when they're out and about. They're using their laptop wherever they are. Everyone is a lot more mobile than they used to be, and you can't just look at the perimeter anymore, the old-fashioned, within the office. More so with COVID, people are, and I think it'll be mixed. So you will have some people working in the office for some period of time, and you'll have a lot more people working outside the perimeter. People have, they've beefed up security on their corporate networks, and that's great, but it's the actual devices and it's the stealth things that can be done to hack Wi-Fi. So, for example, things like man-in-the-middle attacks. You don't know if someone is mimicking the authorized Wi-Fi network, and you don't know if your device has connected to the man-in-the-middle attack or the evil twin. You have no visibility over that because your device is always looking for all of your stored Wi-Fi networks. And if they mimic one of the stored Wi-Fi networks and they have a stronger signal strength, your device will automatically connect to it without you even knowing. So they can then harvest, whatever details they can find. So it's things like people who use hotspots to exfiltrate data in an organisation. If you beef, your corporate network can't pick that up. Things like remote hacking tools like OMG cables, where it looks like a USB cable, but it actually has a hacking device or an evil twin device in the head of the cable. And once they plug that into their devices, they have full access. Things like hidden security cameras, Wi-Fi operated cameras. At the moment, there's a plague of those in South Korea, where they're throughout public bathrooms and hotels, and people are being filmed without their consent. And so, they're operated via Wi-Fi, and that's how they get the data, and then they publish it online. So, how do you know what's on your network? Any of these devices could be there and you don't know.
That's quite terrifying, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is definitely something to think about, that's for sure.
And so what kind of product or service does HackHunter offer to help with this problem?
We want to make sure that Wi-Fi is used for good. So by that, we mean we want to help organisations to know what unauthorised Wi-Fi is in their environment. So Is there a Wi-Fi camera there that's filming their staff when they're in the bathroom? Is there an OMG cable in, has someone brought an OMG cable in unknowingly and they're using that to, charge their phone at work? Has a device been planted somewhere that you don't know about? So HackHunter actually helps you to find the unauthorized Wi-Fi. And by find, I mean locate it to within a few centimetres, so then you can remove it. So, for example, a trial that we did at an ASX 50 finance organisation, we found a device hidden under the floor that their existing method of auditing their Wi-Fi didn't know it was there at all. It was completely invisible to it. But the HackHunter Pursuit portable tracker found it straight away. We also found a device in a bag, and when we were going down to work out which pocket it was in, it was switched off remotely. So they were watching us and they'd turned it off. So, and that was in a one-day audit. So what's happening in the other 364 days of the year? You don't know. So we've got continuous monitoring sensors as well that you can put around the organisation, and they monitor all the time, and they tell you if there's unauthorised Wi-Fi that shouldn't be there, and then you can use the tracker to go out and locate it and remove the device, or examine the hotspot and see if they're acting properly or not. And we also have another version that detects Wi-Fi operated drones and their controllers separately. So we're trialling that at the moment at a state corrections facility.
And so for those interested, how do you get a pursuit tracker?
So at the moment, we're giving demos, online demos. Yeah, we're still restricted with our travel in some cases. So the way to get a demo is to go onto our website and just register for one. Give us your details, and then we'll be in touch, and then we can show you how it works online. And then we can also send you devices for trial if you want to try it in your environment.
Fantastic. What further support is needed from government and industry alike to ensure Australia has breadth and depth of great cybersecurity companies just like HackHunter?
Well, obviously, the ecosystem has been building over the past couple of years, and that's amazing. To think that, since AustCyber came on the scene, I think you started with less than 100 companies in cybersecurity, and now there's well over 300. So the cybersecurity ecosystem, is growing. It's growing exponentially, and that's because of the support that we're getting from the government and the things that are being set up. For example, the CyRise Cybersecurity Accelerator. I think 22 companies have been through that now, and these are startups who are all working on amazing new technology to try and fill the gaps that are out there in the market. The support that we've received from AustCyber, including the Projects Fund, has been phenomenal. And especially with the launch of our product, the support we received has been, incredible, and we really appreciate it. And it's something that we really need, especially startups. So, you're a startup, you're small. If your product is for government or for defence, which ours has applications for corporate and government and defence, so hard to get to talk to anyone in government or defence to do a trial. So the support that we need really is for customers, right? We need them to become customers of our products. And that's the same across the board for any cybersecurity company in Australia. The tendency still seems to be to go for overseas products, and we have amazing capability here in Australia that should be tried. They should at least be trialled against the overseas products to see how they compare. Funding is being thrown at startups. There's a lot of grants out there, especially now after COVID. There are a lot of grants in each state to try and encourage business to come back again. But what we really need more than anything is the customers.
Great. And one last question, Tracie. What's next for HackHunter as we move into 2021 next year?
Well, we've been really lucky because COVID for us was a great opportunity to develop our tech. So we developed our tech and we came out the other side and launched our Pursuit Tracker in November. So it's just really getting that out into the market. And when I say out into the market, I mean globally. So we've done a trial with the US Defence Prime. So we're hoping that will end up in a sale next year. And we've got a lot of trials out there at the moment as well. So we're hoping to be able to expand and get the trackers out there. And then once we can do that and we can start having a look at the data that if they choose to use our cloud service, the data that we can look at and de-identify, and we can also start then to look at trends and start to look at forecasting, Wi-Fi black spots, for example. At the moment, we've got our Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz version out there. We're partway through developing our 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi tracker, and that will be launched in February. And then we move on to Bluetooth, and we've got another couple of technologies to come on after that as well. So, our goal is to make sure that all wireless communication methods are used for good. So we've started with Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth is next.
Thanks again for today's engaging conversation. All the best for 2021, Tracie.
Thanks, Olivia, and same to you.